Hey, what's up guys? John from Mongo Fishing. Today, I'm here on the Monster Bass channel to talk to you guys about two baits that were in this month's box. And I want to show you, I don't know, like a little tweak, and then how to rig them, how to use them, and yeah, everything associated with that. So what we're going to talk about is the Budda Bait Company Toad-a-Lac Buzzbait and the River to Sea DWalkers that were in this month's box. But before we get into it, take this little quick break, get yourself a pair of pliers, a file or sandpaper, a glove, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so like I said, my name is John from Mongo Fishing, and this is the Monster Bass channel. Monster Bass channel is dedicated to make you a better bass angler, better angler as a whole. So if that's something you want to learn, you know, tips and techniques and tricks, hit the subscribe button right down there along with the bell notification button so you get notified every single time Monster Bass puts out another video. My channel, Mongo Fishing, will be linked in the description below. I'd dig it if you came over and checked that out also. But let's talk these. Alright, so why did I have you get a pair of pliers, a file, and a glove? Okay, so first off, when we take this Toad-a-Lac Buzzbait, there's something we can do to it right off the bat that's going to help this thing perform a little better. And what that is we're going to push this little rivet that's right here. We kind of want to push that down so it's seated right here, and we're going to crimp it in place. We do not want it to move anymore. After we get it where we want it, we're going to crimp it in place. Okay, so by crimping that in place, what this does, it keeps this thing from ever spinning again. Okay, so the only thing that's going to spin now is your blade. When you first start these things out, there's no squeal to it, and you want to build up a squeal. The best way to build the squeal is with your file. So you want to take a file and scratch up the bottom of this piece right here, bottom of that, where it would rub on that little rivet. So I'm going to scrape that up with the file. Doesn't have to be scraped up bad, it just needs to be scraped up some. And all you're trying to do is cause metal on metal to squeak. You want to build up some rough spots and whatever, so when these pieces are rubbing on each other, they build up a little squeal to them, a little squeak. So that's all I'm doing, is filing that down just a little bit. Okay. And it'll start making a squeak the more you use it. So the last thing before we get into rigging, this is where the glove comes into play. You know, if this were my channel, what I would do in if I had one of these Buzzbaits brand new, is I would put on a glove and I would cover this hook really well. You can tape it, you can do whatever you want, and then stick it out the window occasionally of your car while you're driving down the road. If you held it out the car at like 50 for a minute or two, that's millions of casts that this thing is doing spinning on that blade. Okay, it doesn't take very long of holding it out the window. Wear gloves. This thing will knock you in the finger really good if you give it a chance. Get the hook back here, do whatever, and just let this thing, let the wind blow on it. It'll build up a squeal 3, 4, 5 miles down the road, and this thing is a buzzbait that's been used for years. That's the squeal it'll build up. So there you go. There's your tip. Don't tell Rick that I told you to do something dangerous. All right. So you get to the lake. Now it's time to rig this thing. Okay, so this is a type of buzzbait that I love to use this time of year. I love buzzbaits unskirted that I can put a swim bait trailer on, because as the fall transition starts happening, you're gonna have fish that really they just want to feed up and get fat, dumb, and happy for the winter, right? And I know we're still way far away from that, but for the rest of the year, until the water gets down in like the mid 50s, I'm gonna have a buzzbait tied on and on deck in my boat pretty much every morning for the rest of the year until November, until the water cools off too low and it's in the mid 50s. This is a killer bait this time of year. And again, I may not throw it every single day, but I'm most definitely gonna have it tied on. All right, so get yourself your little buzzbait, get your DWalker, or any sort of swim bait. Castaic, Jerky J Swim is a really good one. Kitex, you know, any of those baits that paddle tail swim baits work killer. Obviously this DWalker is an amazing option for this also. Now what makes this Budda Buzzbait pretty freaking sweet is it has, one, a keeled head right here, so it's going to want to track straight versus rolling over. Two, it's got multiple bait keepers. It's got two on each side and one down here in the bottom, so it's going to help hold your bait on there. So anyway, you rig it on like you would any other soft plastic, push it up on the nose, and there you go, just like that. Now, the problem with these things, with this sort of paddle tail swim bait, is if you have a bunch of little fish that are just being annoying, they're gonna pull your buzzbait under. It might get frustrating, however. You'll think you're getting missed bites or whatever, but they're really not fish that could do it anyway. Those good fish are just gonna absolutely crush this. So a tournament strategy that I kind of like to do this time of year is maybe just go chase, you know, 5 schoolers first thing in the morning, then tie on a big old buzzbait like this and use that to throw the rest of the day chasing a kicker. You know, I may not get 5 buzzbait fish, but a good buzzbait fish, it's gonna be a nice fish, it's gonna be an upgrade. Okay, so rods, reels, stuff like that. Okay, if I'm throwing that 3/8 ounce buzzbait, I'm gonna be using something like this. This is a Denali Covert. It's a 7.2 medium heavy. Actually, I think this one's a heavy because I have this one on braid. I have a medium heavy also. It's the same exact rod. It's their worm and jig rod. I use that for my buzz baits also because it's, you know, buzz baits, swim jigs, all that stuff. The worm and jig rod's a killer rod to do. So 7.2 medium heavy, or sorry, medium heavy. It's really your sort of preference, whatever you choose. I have it on the heavy because this one's rigged up with braid. I have it on the medium heavy when I run it with fluoro. Again, depends on where I'm throwing, what I feel like I really need to get the fish out of the cover. So that's sort of the rod. Reel, I'm a 7-to-1 gear ratio guy for almost everything. I know there are gear ratios where you should go slower and gears where you should go faster. I don't know, I'm just kind of accustomed to doing it by hand. So whatever reel is comfortable for you, but I would certainly stay above a 7-to-1 gear ratio if possible. And then another thing, not necessarily with this buzzbait, but the same style buzzbait, and I will also have it on deck this time of year, and that's going to be another unskirted buzzbait like that with a small, little tiny version. If the bass are really keyed up on small bait, that may be what you have to do, is downsize to something like that. It's no different than, you know, worm fishing. If you have to downsize and slow down, it is what it is. You can downsize and slow down with buzzbaits also. Guys, I should have fish catch videos for you, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I had one day to actually go out and film with this buzzbait, and I don't have the footage from it. Brand new GoPro Hero 10, and I don't have any of the footage from that day. So guys, I really don't know what to tell you. I guess I can throw in another fish catch if they'll let me. Right here, it's the same concept. Buzzbait bite is a buzzbait bite is a buzzbait bite, especially when you're doing this. They hit it, they'll smoke it. Give them a second for you to really, you know, feel them load up on it. Swing hard, jack their jaw. You got it. You can boat flip them from there.
He's trying. I thought he was digging.
He's trying. Oh, he is a good one.
Ooh, nice job, dude.
Switch to a smaller buzzbait and freaking catch a good one. Oh, he wasn't coming off. Anyway, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Again, if you're new to the Monster Bass channel, hit the subscribe button right down there along with the bell notification button so you're notified every single time Monster Bass puts out another video. my channel, Mongo Fishing, be linked down in the description below. I'd dig it if you came over and checked me out also. Again, guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, get out of the water, be safe, and go catch a monster bass.